Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something pretty fascinating.
We are. We're looking at 12 scriptural passages, initially picked almost at random, it seems.
Right, but our source material argues they actually weave together this single powerful narrative. They call it contested dominion.
Yeah, this constant struggle over who has the rightful authority.
And we're drawing this from specific textual frameworks, the UTV and H2F 15 versions.
Exactly. These aren't your standard Bible translations. Think of them more as analytical structures. They group texts based on theme, specifically what they call the order of dominion.
Okay, let's unpack that. The core question these sources seem to pose is, well, it's huge. How does divine authority actually work? And crucially, what are the consequences when it's rejected?
We have to start with the foundation. The sources call it the indivisible architecture of dominion.
Meaning it's not just a random list of rules.
Not at all. It's presented as a complete singular system, a total instruction. The Hebrew word is Torah, right? Instruction, teaching.
And the sources connect this idea, this totality, in a really stark way.
They do. They link a seemingly minor rule, Leviticus 11.8, don't touch the carcass of an unclean animal, to this sweeping statement in James 2:10, that stumbling in just one point makes you guilty of breaking the whole law.
Whoa, hang on, that sounds incredibly harsh. Are they saying, like, accidentally touching a dead pig is the same level as, I don't know, murder?
Well, the UTV and H2F 15 interpretation isn't quite about the severity of the act itself. It's about the authority being challenged.
Okay.
The system, the Torah, is presented as singular. So if you disregard the instruction about the carcass, you're not just rejecting that rule. You're actually rejecting the single lawgiver behind the entire system.
So it's like a fundamental break in the relationship, not just ticking off a checkbox.
Precisely. It ruptures the whole thing.
Got it. That reframes it completely. Okay, so if the foundation is this total submission to a singular authority, then rejecting it must be pretty dramatic.
It is. And the sources highlight, really, two key forms of explicit rejection.
Where does it get really interesting?
First, there's the political rebellion. You see this clearly in 1 Samuel 12.12.
Right. The Israelites are facing a threat. Nahash the Ammonite.
Yes, a very real, visible human threat. And instead of trusting God, their unseen king, they panic. They demand a human king, a Melech.
Someone they can see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the sources argue this wasn't just asking for a leader, it was an active deposition. They were, in effect, firing YHWH from his job as their king.
Wow. Okay, that's political. What about the other form?
That's the spiritual rebellion, which the sources portray as maybe even more insidious. Ezekiel 23.38 describes it.
Syncretism, right. Trying to mix worship.
Exactly that. People were defiling the sanctuary, the mikdash. They'd go there on the same day they had just performed child sacrifice.
Oh, that's jarring.
It is. They weren't necessarily rejecting YHWH outright, but they were treating his authority as, well, non-exclusive, trying to blend his absolute holiness with these pagan abominations, demoting him, in a sense.
Making him one god among many, or maybe even less than others.
Sort of subordinating his rule.
And the consequence for all this rejection, political, spiritual, is what?
Chaos, basically. Judgment. Nahum 3.2 gives this visceral image, the noise of a prancing horse and of a bounding chariot.
That sounds like warfare, turmoil.
It's the sound of human kingdoms built on rejected divine authority, just tearing each other apart. The stability of the divine king is gone, and this is what's left.
But the sources don't just leave it there, right? There's a pivot.
A hard pivot. The path to resolution isn't more human kings or armies. It completely subverts that. It comes through the figure of the steadfast servant in Isaiah 50.7.
The one who embodies perfect submission.
Total submission. He declares, I have set my face as a flint.
What does that signify? Face as a flint.
It's about unwavering resolve. Unlike the fearful Israelites demanding a human king, the servant is resolute, determined, relying only on YHWH's help.
So the answer to this whole contested dominion thing isn't winning a war.
No. According to this analysis, it's an act of perfect, unwavering faithfulness. That faithfulness is what leads to divine vindication, the ultimate resolution.
And this whole drama, the rebellion, the chaos, the faithful servant, it's all set against God's or Elohim's ultimate desire, right?
Yeah.
Psalm 105.24.
Yes, which is fruitfulness and victory for his people. The rebellion is framed as this tragic detour from that fundamental goal.
Okay, so bringing it all together, that's one more piece from the sources, Hebrews 8.5.
Right. This adds a crucial layer. It says the earthly systems, the sanctuary, the priesthood, the rules, they were just a copy and shadow.
A skia, the Greek word, like an outline almost.
Exactly. An outline, a shadow of a true heavenly pattern.
So this leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty deep question to ponder. If the authentic system of dominion, the real thing, is heavenly, and what we have on earth is just its shadow.
A reflection.
Yeah, a reflection. What actually happens when we reject even that shadow, God's appointed reflection of rule, to install something purely human instead? What's the real difference then between following a rule grounded in truth versus following a reflection of truth that you yourself have decided to break or ignore?
It's definitely something to think about.